Konnichiwa critics, rated TSM desu. Welcome back to Japanese Tuesdays. Yeah, it's Nihongo Kayobi desu. I mixed it up, whatever. Just gonna roll with it though. And I made a mistake in the last video. I said for the diacritical marks for the ta series that it was da, di, du, den, do. It's actually ta, da, ji, zu, de. So I guess you're gonna have to figure out which G to use, but most likely when it comes to diacritical marks, you're not going to be using the G that normally makes a chi sound. Sometimes you might, but I can almost assure you, I don't think I've ever seen yet, at least I haven't been paying attention to any words with diacritical marks over the hiragana chi yet. So, but it is what it is. I messed up, that's okay. Again, I remind you guys, I'm not a professional. Now, when it comes to katakana, here's what it looks like. For those of you who wanna maybe take a picture, try to expand on this. And for those of you who are really lazy and didn't actually feel like looking up in hiragana, I have it. But remember, this is actually backwards because I didn't mirror this. Then it is what it is. Now with katakana, again, I will reiterate that when it comes to katakana, it was originally the language written for men, because it's boxy like men, whereas hiragana is curvy. There are certain katakana that look similar to certain hiragana. For example, ki looks similar, ka looks similar. I'm trying to think what else looks similar. There are two katakana that look very similar, shi and tsu, and they look very similar. Also, ra and fu look similar. And I'm trying to think what else. Un and so look similar as well, come to think of it. Now, you have to make sure when you write them that you actually, if you look at a chart, you write them correctly, because you will mess up a lot of people. And I have accidentally done that before too. And one of my Japanese friends, she has once corrected the way that I wrote something. She said, so I want to teach you how to write this properly. So yeah. You just gotta learn it. Now, when it comes to extended vowel sounds, generally in hiragana, one thing that happens, although I can get into that later maybe, but well, I'll just mention it here. When it comes to hiragana, say for instance you have an extended vowel sound and you have a long ah sound. If you have a long ah sound, you just add another ah. If you have a long e sound though, you just add another e. If you have a long s sound, you have to add an e if it's a long s sound. You can't pronounce the E when you have a long S sound, you just extend the S sound. Like, for example, the word for movie is eiga. If you're gonna write it in hiragana, although you're gonna probably hopefully write it in kanji, then eiga is e, then ga. Okay? That's basically just how it is, how it's phoneticized. I'm not really sure why it matters that much, but I guess it does. There are certain instances, though, where long S sound is actually an E, but for the most part, it doesn't work that way. As for the long, let me see, what comes after that? Oo sound, I think you add, okay, gotta go check those notes here to remind myself. If you have a long oo sound, then you just add another oo. But if you have a long o sound, you have to add the oo. You don't pronounce the oo again, but if it's a long o sound, you have to pronounce the oo. And I don't know if there's any case where long o sound has another o. If you hear a noise, that's my heater coming on, and I'm probably going to turn my body to go make my feet warm by the heater, because although it's the end of March when I'm filming this, it is drafty in my house. And I don't know, well, I guess it's mid-March, sort of. But it's drafty in my house, either way. Now, one thing that's very nice, while you do have to do that when phoneticizing in hiragana, one thing that's super nice about katakana is that you don't have to do any of that. If you have a long vowel sound, no matter what it is, you add a line. For those of you who use the either romanji or katakana, hiragana keyboard, then you'll probably notice that line. You might be thinking, what is that line for? That line is also perfect because it helps make turning something into katakana so much easier than it normally is. Because sometimes you might, say for instance my name, every time I type my name in, it keeps trying to make me put it in kanji rather than have me put it in a normal, katakana. Obviously my name always pretty much goes in the katakana, but my name, arguably, you can easily put it into kanji since it's Tamika. And I was always told that Tamika is a Japanese name, but it obviously depends on what kanji you use. on Thursday. So that's the great thing about long vowels. Now, if you're struggling with learning katakana, then I would just recommend trying to practice it as much as you can, practicing it a lot more, because hiragana, you may forget it here and there, and it doesn't exactly take 30 minutes or 2 hours to learn, like maybe other languages, but you know, if you spend maybe a good week learning it, then I think you'll get it down in maybe 2 weeks learning katakana. Okay, I don't think it really takes that long, but if you spend some serious time tackling katakana, you'll get it. Even though for the most part, you will just most likely be using hiragana. So that's all I got for you guys today. I know, right? Very short video compared to the very long video we had last time with hiragana, because there's a lot to say about hiragana, since it is the most used writing system, whereas it's not as used. Whereas katakana is not used as much. Okay, basically. Now we're gonna get into kanji, which hopefully the video will be shorter than the hiragana video. It might be longer than this one, but yeah. Kanji. Kanji is a lifelong process, I feel, because nobody can remember all the kanji, and even Japanese people tell me that they struggle with learning kanji. But if you learn the ones that are used the most, then I think you should be good. Then we'll eventually be getting into some cool cultural stuff, because right now we have to get over the boring basics. I know, right? Although I feel as though this should be kind of fun a little bit. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Sudeshimasu, critic!